What's up, everyone? It's Cannan, and welcome back to RWBY Alternate Realities. This is part 11 of What If Yang Was a Saiyan, and things are going to get a lot more interesting in this episode. Sorry that it was not uploaded on Friday like normal. Just things happen, and so we just were not able to record. And so this is coming up on Saturday. So last episode, things were not going well. Cinder had gotten the Winter Maiden's power, so now she has the Fall, Spring, and now Winter Maiden powers within her. So she's pretty OP at this moment. So before we get going, please remember, if you enjoy our content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave a comment. Alrighty, so last episode, Pietro and Watts were finally able to get rid of the programming within Penny, so now she is 100% on the good guy side. She will no longer attack Yang on sight, but elsewhere, things are not going well. As soon as Penny became better again, Watts attacked Pietro, knocked him out, but Watts does not really want Penny anymore, so he leaves anything related to Penny alone. He does, however, while Pietro is knocked out, rip him off pretty much. He steals some things and then runs away and heads off into the mountains around Atlas. Now, while Yang was fighting Penny and while that was going on to get Penny back on their side, Ruby, Weiss, Blake, Jean, Nora, Ren, Marrow, Crow, they're all, and Robin, I believe I put Robin with everybody, all decided to head to where the Winter Maiden was, going off of what Winter told them and what Marrow could remember. Now, on the way, of course, they do find what is left of the other Aesops. Sadly, Vine was a little bit more damaged than Elm from their fight with Yang, so he was still incapacitated, but Elm was all right. Harriet has recovered from the energy draining for Tyrion, but sadly, just like in the show, Clover did not make it just because they took more energy from him because he was the strongest of the Aesop androids. Harriet, of course, wants to attack everyone when they show up, but, Marrow tells them, Ironwood's gone. There's a lot more at stake here. We could really use your help because Harriet and Elm were kind of the number 2 and number 3 as far as the strongest of the Aesops. Elm says, come on, Harriet, there's more at stake here than a grudge and than what we were originally told to do. Harriet, being Harriet from, just like in the original show, is very thick-headed, very, I don't know if you could say she was egocentric, but very blinded by what she was supposed to do. She also doesn't like that she was double-crossed, so in the end, she does decide that Ironwood screwed them over, so why not give these kids a chance? So begrudgingly, they leave Vine behind because he's deactivated pretty much. He can't do much right now, and keep on heading down to where the Winter Maiden is supposed to be kept. But like I said in the last episode, they are too late. Cinder is able to forcefully absorb the power, and she awakens the power of the Winter Maiden, and the whole place shakes. It is literally not holding well against the power of Cinder, and witnessing this, Ruby is horrified, but she's also reminded of what Cinder did at Beacon, how it resulted in the death of Pyrrha, and how it could result in the death of everyone that she holds dear. So before Yang and Penny even arrive, Ruby activates the power of her silver eyes, because in this version, Cinder still has the Grim arm, so that is not protected by aura. It's also Grim, so the silver eyes affect it, and Ruby blasts Cinder, just like at the end of Volume 7, though this technically would be the end of Volume 8, with her silver eyes, and Cinder hightails it because it hurts. It hurt her last time, and despite all of her power, the silver eyes does something to her, and so she hightails it out of there. And by the time Yang and Penny show up, there's nothing for them to do at this point. But the place is still shaking. It's pretty much the large tower that Ironwood had built is going to collapse. And so they all get out of there using a combination of um, Penny being able to fly, plus her immense strength, the same thing with Yang, plus Ruby's speed and Harriet's speed. They're all able to get out before the place collapses. And really, once that happens, everyone that's left in Atlas and in Mantle learn that Ironwood is dead. Of course, you got some who celebrate it, who were not thrilled with the military takeover. You got some who were in favor of Ironwood that are saddened or angry about it. But now this is a people who are leaderless, pretty much. And so, of course, Winter and Robin join forces and decide we need to help these people. We need to help them. We need to take over. We need to help lead Mantle and Atlas together and turn it into something better than what it was. Winter decides to take more care of Atlas because she is a Schnee. People will listen to her up there, while Robin will help lead Mantle. Well, not really lead Mantle, but help Mantle because they will trust her. And so, yeah, that's the plan. Ruby and the others decide, yes, we need to find the relic, because, yes, that is still a plot in this, but it should be good for right now. Cinder's gone. There's no other reason to worry right now, because in this version, Salem has not shown up. So Weiss decides to go up to Atlas to help her sister. Ruby goes with her as well because they're teammates, they're best friends, they're going to stick together. Nora, Ren, and Jean decide to help Robin and Mantle. So does Crow. Penny decides to watch over her father because, yes, they did learn within this time frame that he was injured and he was attacked by Watts. So Penny is tending to him. Yang decides, while also helping everyone, she is going to train. She's going to keep training because the power she felt from Cinder, Yang already knows that she probably does not stand a chance against Cinder, even as a Super Saiyan. Now, even though Yang has just recently awakened the Super Saiyan transformation, she already has a pretty good mastery of it because of the intense training she did. Like I said before she unlocked it, she was training so much that it was literally like a soda bottle that had been shaken. The power was like just doubling over itself within her to the point where if she didn't unlock it, she was going to burst. So that's the reason why her transformation was not as dramatic, maybe like Goku's or Trunks's, and more kind of like Vegeta's, in that it was more of a show off kind of thing. And that's because, like I said, she built it up so much that it was kind of almost easier for her to transform than the Saiyans, say, from Dragon Ball. Plus, I didn't want to 100% copy the transformations from Dragon Ball and make it more of how Yang would do it. Chances are she could have unlocked it while training, and so she kind of did do it in a show off kind of manner. But she did still use it. She still did transform in anger, over seeing her friends and her sister in the kind of shape that they were. So there still was motivation there. But yes, I wanted to go a little bit more of a different route than just say, oh, let's just use Goku's form of transformation or Trunks's or anyone else's. Um, Also, of course, Blake is helping the Faunus of Mantle because of everyone, they're probably in the worst state of shape. Winter is also using what is left of the Atlas military to go out and pretty much form hunting parties for food and things like that, um, that they can um, help the people of both Atlas and Mantle, because right now everyone's in a bad state. Also, the soldiers have knowledge of where there is a abundance of dust that they can use to keep the place um, powered and heated and all that. Plus, of course, even though we've not really mentioned him, because in this version he did not get to try and get voted for council because Ironwood pretty much took over everything. Jacques Schnee does try to take advantage of the situation, but it is quickly quelled by both Weiss and Winter, and they use their family's power and influence to get more dust supplies. And so, for a good while, Mantle and Atlas are in pretty good shape. Now, in this version, why did Salem not come after the relic right away? And that is because she has learned of Yang's presence. She is intrigued by Yang because before her, no one else had really shown this kind of level of strength. She did kind of eye Raven for a while, but since Raven really in this version, Raven doesn't really fear Salem. It's just that it was none of Raven's business. Remember, Raven is a pure blooded Saiyan. She doesn't really care if the world got destroyed, so it really wasn't her worry. Plus, it's been hinted many times that Saiyans can breathe in space, though there's conflicting things like Frieza using it as a way to try and kill Goku during their fight. Oh, I can breathe in space and you can't. But then seeing Saiyans like Frieza and Nappa, even though they were in the upper atmosphere of of the planet, and plus Arlia is not really canon because it's my mind just went blank for what it is. It's filler. That's what it is. It's filler. But then of course Goku fought Beerus in the upper atmosphere of Earth. So can Saiyans breathe in space? It's really hard to say, but it comes to reason that Raven had a backup plan in case Salem did try to destroy the planet. Um, but Salem knows the relic is an atlas. She knows that these kids do not know where it is exactly because now um, Ironwood's dead, and in this version, even though I've not really mentioned him much, Oscar is there and so is Ozpin. But before, it's pretty much, hey, yeah, he knows where the relic is, but right now, let's take care of the people. Um, so yes, Yang goes back to training. Once Pietro has healed up a little bit, he decides to up the ante on the gravity machine and makes it pretty much to where it can go close to to 900 times normal gravity, but it's starting to show its wear and tear. It's starting to buckle a little bit under that immense pressure. Plus, Yang is not exactly gentle with the place when she is inside of it. Um, so this whole entire time, Watts has been hiding in the mountains, and what is he doing? He's making more androids, of course. He has lured 4 huntresses into the caves, and he has been experimenting on them to turn them into stronger androids than the Aesops. And of course, I am talking about Team Briar. Now, please keep in mind this video is going up before the release of RWBY Arafel. It's actually coming out in 10 days. So we don't really know if these characters are villainous in any way. There have been some theories about them being like bandits in a way, huntresses who became bandits. But even though we don't know nothing about them, I decided to kind of go into a Super Android 13 movie kind of route with these, while we wait for the next big fight, which will, go into what more than likely Volume 9 will be. Um, so during training, Yang does discover the other forms. Because, like I said, Yang is a prodigy, pretty much. Would definitely be able to unlock these forms faster than, say, they were unlocked in the show, just because she has the time. Um, Kind of like Caulifla in Dragon Ball Super. I know a lot of people think Caulifla achieved Super Saiyan 2 way too fast, but if you're talented and you've maybe had that power and that ability to do it for so long, it probably would be a little bit easier to attain these forms, because we still don't know exactly how strong Caulifla was in her base form when she first was introduced. But if she was able to unlock Super Saiyan just after one little try at it, and then eventually Super Saiyan 2 in a short amount of time, it's probably a good enough reason to think that she was very OP, even in her base form. So that's kind of the route I'm going with Yang. Yang is a quick study. She's a prodigy, um, and so she has the time and effort to really unlock and understand these forms. Now, I don't know how long exactly this will be going, because to get Atlas and Mantle back under control, because you've still got Grim, you've got people having negative emotions about what just happening, the fall of Ironwood and all that. So yes, we would have Grim attacks, we would probably have infighting, maybe some riots, maybe some protests. And so we can probably safe to say that at least a couple of months go by before really anything else would majorly happen, because you've got the villains who are monitoring the situation, but also having coming up with their own plans as well. So while training, I'm going to go ahead and say that Yang did unlock the forms in between Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2. The first one being Super Saiyan Grade 2, or Ascended Super Saiyan, which was pretty much the Super Vegeta transformation. And while realizing that, yes, this form is way stronger than Super Saiyan, she still knows it's not enough against Cinder. Then, of course, she also will unlock a Super Saiyan Grade 3, or as we call it in the West, Ultra Super Saiyan, and that's the very big, bulky form that Trunks unlocked that made him look a lot like Broly, which is what they based Broly off of. Of course, Goku unlocked it, and Caulifla did as well, but Yang also realizes its weakness just as fast as Goku did, and that yes, her power has increased dramatically. The large muscles would slow her down, and Cinder has already proven to be a very fast fighter, and so Yang would be a sitting duck. And so she decides to do exactly what Goku decided, and that was perfect Super Saiyan, staying in the form as long as she can. That way, she can use more power to actually fight than waste energy to transform. Now, during her training one night, because she woke up restless, having nightmares, stuff like that, just thinking about what could possibly happen. Even having Blake laying next to her is not enough to calm her. So she decides to get up, get dressed, and get some late night training in. So she's training at the highest state that the gravity can go. She's in her Super Saiyan form. She's gotten to where she can even sleep in her Super Saiyan form. And during this night, she has to take a, a break. Like the gravity is almost a little too much. She's training pretty much almost every hour of the day, and she keeps telling herself, "You can't fail again. This isn't enough. Get up." She looks back at the bandits that she failed to save from the Grim. She looks at how she wasn't strong enough to beat Adam or Tyrion without having to kill them. Um, she looks at how potentially Cinder could kill everyone she cares about. She tells herself, when are you going to be the hero that you've always wanted to be, even when you were growing up? Um, and even though she still resents Raven for leaving her for most of her life, she's like, Raven was right. I'm a Saiyan. I should take pride in what I am. I should finally accept what I am. Um, but she thinks, Ruby, Blake, Bro, my father, even my mother. I'm going to lose them all if I can't measure up and achieve more. Um, and eventually, even the world could be destroyed. I can't let that happen. I won't let that happen. And she feels something come over her. It's deep within, and it's such a deep, raw power, and the emotions that she's feeling. It scares her because in a brief second it unlocked, and what it made her become scared her because she felt that raw energy, that raw need to destroy whatever threatens her loved ones. And she didn't like that because it's not who she is. Yes, she wants to protect everybody, but she doesn't want to become a ruthless killer to achieve it. The power she just felt, what it could do, what it could turn her into, absolutely terrifies her. But in a way, she knows that she might have to tap into that to really achieve what she needs to, and that's to beat Cinder. She's not really thinking about Salem, and really knowing Yang and being the kind of Saiyan that I've made her into, she's probably forgotten all about that story that Ruby and them told her about. So she leaves the training chamber that night, and she's got to make a decision soon. It's either accept that power and whatever comes with it, she's just going to have to accept, or stay how she is and let everyone around her die. And so she goes to bed with a heavy heart that night, and she hopes the fight against Cinder is farther away than it could be because she doesn't want to make that choice yet. So almost another month goes by, more training. Mantle and Atlas are finally almost about back to normal when when an explosion goes off in one of the major buildings in Atlas. And it's actually a building owned by the Cheney Dust Company. And it's a big explosion because there was dust in the building. Kills a lot of people. Um, it's investigated, and of course, they find no trace of a bomb. And Yang can already tell then, from just how things look, that it was an energy blast. And she didn't sense, even though Cinder doesn't use ki, she can still feel the immense power that Cinder has. And she's like, it wasn't Cinder. I didn't sense anything. There was nothing, there was, whoever did it was very concealed. So that means either they know how to use ki and they kept their energy down, or it's more androids who don't put out energy. And Pietra, of course, says it's very likely because, once again, Watts disappeared. We have no idea where he's at. It's been months. who knows what he has been up to since then. And of course, just like in most things like this, the heroes don't know that Watts is literally not too far from the city. He's in the mountains, in a laboratory that he built in a cave long ago. And so, guys, here I'm going to stop it because I have a headache. I can't go much more, and plus, it's getting really late. I've got to get up and go to work tomorrow. So sorry for the major cliffhanger, but I want a little bit more time to go by before we really get into this because I kind of feel we need to learn a little bit more about Team Brighter before they square off against Yang in this. But we're getting very close also to the end of the Volume 8 story. And since RWBY Volume 9 has not aired yet, I'm going to pretty much have to go blind from here on out once we get to Volume 9 stuff. So these episodes might take a little longer sometimes now. Don't know if they'll be 100% weekly anymore, just because I literally now have to build off my imagination pretty much from once the true ending of Volume 8 happens, which is the fall, and into Ever After. I've got a general idea what happens already, but I need more, of course. So, gonna have to do a little bit more research on Team Briar, but I did want to use them because I like their designs. And like I said, even though we don't know yet what their true role in Arrowfell is yet, I thought they would be great foes at this point because Arrowfell takes place during the Atlas arc, and we're still in Atlas. So yeah, sorry for that abrupt ending, but I wanted to end there because, like I said, my head's killing me. This light's not helping. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave a comment. More Let's Plays are coming. I am waiting on one more piece of equipment to come before I can really start testing PS3 games and PS1 games at that point. And sorry about the double audio in the first episode of the Shadow of Rose DLC. It seems like OBS changes my settings on its own all the time. I don't know if there was an update or what, and I just didn't realize it, but hopefully that will not be in the next episode. But as always, guys, me and Jess love you all very, very much. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.